Very first thing that you should do is reflect on your accomplishments because it really is the best way to hit your next goal. In motivation studies, there's something called the goal gradient effect, which is the idea that people are more motivated the closer they are to reaching that goal. And there are also many other studies and theories that corroborate this one. So, whether they're small or big achievements, use this to your advantage because this is actually what's going to help you achieve your bigger goals. Now, that was number one, but if you have any other suggestions and thoughts of what should be done before the end of this year, please leave them down below in the comments. Now, this next one is most of us have accumulated at least a degree of things that just take up space in our homes and in our lives. Things that we don't really need or want. We're not just talking about Marie Kondo or things like that, but there's been a UCLA study that was done back in 2010 that pretty much pointed out how clutter was actually associated with higher rates of stress, with higher amounts of cortisol being released in your bloodstream, higher rates of depression. It just had a whole series of negative impacts on you and your well being. Before the end of this year, make sure to clean up your space and make sure to declutter because it's going to help you refresh to achieve those goals that you have set for next year. Now, number three is something that gets overlooked pretty often because you don't really think about it until it hits you in some way, either really high medical bills, dental, vision, some sort of health related expense. We have studies that show that about 38% of Americans don't regularly go to their medical checkups. And that's actually going to become a big issue, especially to your well being in terms of how much money it's going to cost you and just overall health and longevity. This one is schedule your checkups now. Make sure to get everything done that you need to now and be up to date. Because if you do neglect your health, if something does happen, something negative, modern science and modern medicine is not really good enough to get you back to 100% every single time. Number four, don't make the same mistakes that I did in the past and let the year go by without maxing out your retirement contributions to the best of your ability. I'm not saying to go bankrupt or go into debt just to hit those numbers and max them out, but you are capped each year on how much you can contribute, and contributing early to a 401k account or retirement account is going to have some really huge exponential gains. It could be the difference between working for your entire life or investing early and being able to retire earlier and comfortably. So the 401k maximum for 2024 is $23,000 or $30,500 for those that are 50 years or older. If you have an employer match, definitely make sure to take advantage of that because that's basically free money. Now, for those without 401ks, you still have the IRA, which is $7,000 max, or $8,000 for those that are over 50 years of age. Number five is tax loss harvest. So go over any stocks or investments that you currently have. And if you were planning to sell any of them, you might want to consider doing it now, or else it's going to count against next year. These losses can offset any potential gains or your taxable income for this year. Number six, this is another quick one, but it can actually save you a substantial amount of money if you just once a year take a little bit of time to shop around for cheaper quotes. That could be car insurance, home insurance, your internet service, your cell phone service. It's a once a year exercise, but it can actually save you a pretty substantial amount of money for not all that much work or effort. Now, this next one on number seven, we're not talking about longer term debt like home mortgages or even low cost student loan debts. But if you have any payday loans or credit card debt, then you should definitely try to work on reducing the amounts that you owe now. Because one, credit card debt is really expensive. And usually it's a good idea to pay that down sooner rather than later. And payday loans are extremely expensive. And once you get hooked on into those extremely high interest rates, it's going to be extremely hard to get out of that bad cycle because you're going to have to pay so much interest, you might not be able to keep up with it, and then you just get further and further racked in debt. Number eight, unfortunately, we all grow up into adults, and being an adult is pretty difficult. Gone are the days of childhood freedom where everyone takes care of everything for you, and there's not really that much stress. So during this end of year, before the next year, make sure to go over your finances and see how you're doing. Go over how much cash you have on hand, how much debt you owe, and how much total assets you actually have. And consider what your regular weekly or monthly income is, as well as your regular expenses. And in essence, make up your budget for 2025. And this budget you want to regularly revisit because either you forgot to add an item or two, you forgot some expenses, or you forgot some income, and things just really change pretty often. So I usually find it helpful to revisit this on a monthly basis to make sure I'm on track, or in the cases I need to add some missing numbers that I forgot to include at the beginning of the budget. And this is something where we do a lot in corporate finance too, where we regularly reassess our income and spending because it helps us stick to the plan and it'll help you stick to the plan and make better financial decisions. Number 9, alongside you working on your 2025 budget, also take some time to think about the 2025 financial goals that you want to set. Is it to reach, let's say, $10,000 extra in savings or in investments or total assets? Maybe to reach up to $100,000 in net worth. Maybe you want to buy a house, which means you'll need to set aside more cash for a down payment. These big milestones or key items, they're going to be major items in your financial planning process. And you'll want to plan out whether you need more cash or if you can invest more into your assets and stocks, or if you need to reduce your expenses to achieve whatever goals that you're aiming for. Now, this last one that I'm going to leave you with is I don't want to talk about science right now, and I don't want to cite any studies or sources, but take a break. We all need rest, and we all need to take breaks in order to do better and climb up further. So remember to regularly give yourself a break, especially if you've been working hard. Once you're fresh and recharged, you're gonna be able to go at it again at your best. Now, I wish you all the best, and thank you for watching.